So this evening is when they get down to business, when Vice President Vance will be meeting with Prime Minister Modi this evening at about 6 p.m. So what's on the agenda for JD Vance, for America? Why is this visit crucial? Well, it's coming, of course, at a time when there's a lot of talk about a trade deal between India and America. So evaluation of Indo-US trade talks will be something that Vance will be hoping to do, get a sense of really how far they've reached in getting a trade deal and reaching some middle ground. Also, to ensure that the fall deadline for a trade deal is met. Remember that a breather has been given for a few months before the reciprocal tariff really kicks in for India as well. So JD Vance will be looking to find out whether the fall deadline will be met or not. Trade deal, regional security, top goals. Of course, America has a huge stake really in what happens in South Asia. So they are looking at really India being a key partner on that front. Global developments of mutual interest as well, because this meeting is happening at a time when the US is also attempting to mediate some sort of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, which India also has been attempting to do. So that will be another important aspect and strengthen overall bilateral ties as well to ensure that India and America continue on the path that we are on right now. Let me bring in Shivani Sharma, who is tracking the Vances very closely here in Delhi. Shivani, Akshardham done. Next stop is the Janpat Emporium. Are the Vances there yet? Because right now is, of course, the moment when they're kind of soaking in India's cultural heritage before it's down to business later today.
Akshita, I'm right now in the central Delhi area, and I can hear the sounds of those sirens of the convoy of JD Vance that's moving ahead towards Janpat. And we've seen how the family have spent around 45 minutes in Akshardham, and from there, now they are heading towards Janpat for their shopping and their experiences out here. And there is a high security zone that has been created in central Delhi and wherever the movement is heading. So this is, of course, a combination of a number of such events that JD Vance and his family will be witnessing through these 4 days of their India's visit. They were at Akshardham. Now they are going towards the Janpat Art Emporium. Then they will be meeting some officials from the embassy. They will be holding some in-house meetings. Then they'll be meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the evening at around 6:30. Then a grand dinner has been hosted for the JD Vance and his family. And then they'll proceed towards Jaipur, another stop on their journey, which would be full of rich cultural heritage of India, the ecstasy of the magnificence of the forts in Rajasthan. They will be staying at a luxurious fort. They will be staying at Amer. And then tomorrow they will be holding another big event in Jaipur where JD Vance will be addressing. And that address will be very important, Akshita. You know, that will be the only time when we will hear him in India, because otherwise the meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, of course, we'll get the minutes of the meeting after the meeting happens, but his address will actually lay down how India and America are moving ahead in strengthening the ties between each of them and the rework between the strategic ties that are happening from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. So this is a very important visit, but not only official, but a very beautifully combined personal and official visit, that we must say.
All right. Thanks very much, Shivani, for joining us with all of those details. We're tracking, of course, the schedule very, very closely of the Vances. But the timing of the US Vice President's visit to India, extremely crucial. Why is that? Well, first of all, of course, the focus is on tariffs that Trump has been imposing. So amid that, the fact that JD Vance, who is the topmost confidant of Trump and #1 in the Trump team, is here in India, extremely significant. And the focus will be on a trade deal, on where really talks are headed. Has there been progress, any roadblocks? That's something Vance will essentially be looking into. So he'll personally be taking a stock of what's been happening on that front during this visit and his meet with Prime Minister Modi. Now, besides that also, he will be laying the ground for Trump's visit later this year. The US president has confirmed that he will be coming down to India. We don't know when just yet, but there is a visit planned. Perhaps we'll see the dates being ironed out post this visit. And importantly, JD Vance is also a known anti-China hawk in Washington. Why is that crucial? Because for America, having India on its side, while they have, in fact, this tariff war and so many other issues with China, is extremely crucial. So this visit by JD Vance will also be a signal to China that they've got India on their side. It will also help India bolster our Quad role. And that's something that India hopes will be a takeaway for us from this visit by the US Vice President. Now, besides this, the visit could also help India gain trade muscle against China. We've been seeing what's been happening with regards to the tariff fight and how China and America have been indulging in this reciprocal tariff war, even as India has managed to get a freeze for the moment till we iron out a trade deal. So this visit extremely crucial for both sides. The timing, most important.